I didn't get a copy of the agenda. Remember my board packet.
Hey. All that's gonna be, Emmy. Will you bring the agenda? Will you bring this?
Thank you, sweetie.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Ready? Okay. Are we ready? Okay, it is 6 o'clock. We will call this meeting to order. Please rise for, and we do have a quorum. Please rise. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, as the symbol of perfect friendships among united cultures.
Thank you all. Oh my goodness, we have a full house, lots of cool faces, sweet faces, all the things.
We're so glad you're here.
So glad you're here. We're going to move on to item 2, consent agenda. So item A, consideration to adopt meeting agenda. Do we have any changes or motions on the floor?
Can I make a motion to move 3C up to, wait. The
Yes.
construction report, yes, on C to move it up before student report?
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to move item 3C, construction report, up to the top before student report. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. We will be moving the construction report up above student report. Item 2B, consideration to approve minutes of previous meetings from special meeting on November 4th, 2024, and then the regular meeting on November 11th, 2024. We have any discussion?
I move we approve the minutes of both meetings.
Miles moves we approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, minutes have been approved. Okay, item 3 now has become 3A is the construction report, and we will be listening to DPS for our construction report for our neighborhoods. Hello, Mr. Juan and Ms. Cindy, you guys are on.
Well, thank you very much. Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, members and community members of Dexter. I'm pleased to be with you tonight. We're going to have an update to provide to you all today. Decker Parish Sabatini, formerly now known as Decker, it has been selected as the architect of record to design your new elementary school and middle school facilities. So with that, let me share the screen. Let me know when you can see it on your end over there.
We're there. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, we are pleased to be with you all tonight. First board update of the new elementary and middle school project. Just a little bit about Decker, since we have not worked with each other before, and members in the community and board may be unfamiliar with our team, but Decker is coming to you all as an experienced K-12 design firm, having completed over 300 school projects. And more particularly, a lot of our experience, which we're very proud of, especially myself coming from Loving, New Mexico, it's been in rural schools and combination school communities. So elementary, middle school campuses that have shared grade levels on them is something that we take a lot of pride in our experience in working with facilities, just like the one we're working on for you all. We have extensive experience as well as an occupied campus replacement projects. So where students will be on campus during the construction. There's a lot of logistics that need to be worked out there, and that's one thing that we're very proud to have experience in as well. Having completed 80 school projects within the past 10 years on schedule is a testament to our team's experience and our great clients that we have as a part of our team that make the decisions, especially in these public school facility projects as well, where we have multiple people as a part of the funding agency. And I spoke about occupied campus piece earlier, but a lot of experience in that realm. Just some quick introductions since we're all, some of us are meeting each other for the first time, but Cindy, did you want to go first? See for the mute button. That's okay. You got it, Cindy, go ahead.
I'm Cindy Terry. I'm a senior architect with Decker. And all of my projects are with educational projects. They're mostly K through 12. And it's close to my heart. I've been doing this for 34 years, doing school projects. So I'm really happy to be able to work with you all.
Thank you, Cindy. And my name is Juan Moralo. I'm originally from Carlsbad, Loving, New Mexico. I graduated from Loving, played my fair share of the Hal Vogel tournament when I was a Loving Falcon over there, and also quite a bit of track meet there in Dexter. So I'm just happy to be working for this campus, working for you all to bring this dream of yours for a new elementary middle school to reality. We have quite a bit of team members here that will be working on, since we have 2 grade levels, specifically 2 focused project architects that will be working with each facility, as well as our rest of our team with the construction administration, campus planning, and structural. And then our engineers will be helping us for mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and civil design, as it's very important to think about site and campus drainage. So our process, as we're going to be continuing on for design, always starts and ends with you all. And so we're already looking, of course, at really important, not just landscape features that are in and around Dexter, but also, things that are very much make up the Dexter community. And growing up on a farm myself, I know how important ag classes and agricultural elements played a big influence on my life. Knowing when cotton season was starting and how summer was going to happen to get those things going during the school year was a big piece of how I grew up. And so I know these are the important parts of the community cultural context to your new school, and we're already starting to look at those types of elements and how they're just going to impact the design and thought process for this new building that you have. But more importantly, we take all of those things that make you a community and we can look at you specifically as a school district and what your mission and vision is for your school and students and community going forward. And we start every presentation, as members in the room that are with us today as a part of our design committee can make a testament to in our previous meetings. We always start each discussion with this mission and vision. So just like today, we always reflect back to make sure the decisions that we're making as a design team, as a design committee, are very much reflective of your community to make sure this school building fits you all perfectly, not the other way around. Going through our design process, so this is what we're going to get more into as we come back to you all and start to dig in a bit more once progress has been made. We've only had a few design committee meetings to date, so we're working right now in this phase, which is the programming and discovery phase. So during discovery, which actually tomorrow, we're going to be headed down to Dexter, and we're going to spend all day there from 7 a.m. past 6 o'clock. We're going to just observe your campus, observe how the students move to and from buildings, how they circulate, how your staff and teachers use each facility and classroom, and then how pickup and drop off occurs. We're going to document that in our discovery phase to bring that to the design committee to show them our findings. And then through the programming phase, we start to really break down each of your needs as a room in a tabular form to show what each space calculation is going to be, how big each room should be, and then how that plays into the entire context of what your final school size will be. We'll not just list the tabular forms here for each room, but we'll do test fits for individual room furniture to see how the classrooms will be used for equipment and learning spaces for digital display projection and storage. And then we move on from there to really start to put this into 3D images for our community members and design committee to begin to take a look at how their space will look like in 3D with the current square footage. And then we move on into schematic design to do a thorough site analysis, look at your actual campus that we're putting this building on, and then start to come up with some designs that will reflect those program numbers that we're showing in the tabular calculation, but then also really start to capture what the design criteria and design theme will be that'll fit Dexter. And so that's very important to us. And this is a big part of when the design, and to me, I love spreadsheets, but when the design gets really fun is when people can start seeing the building taking shape. And that's all going back to this board, so you all can take a look at what the design committee that you all have selected has approved to date to keep things moving forward. I do want to take a moment to just recognize our design committee. They're going to be putting in some long hours with us for all of these approvals. They're made up of your community members, your teachers, your staff, And I do want to just thank our superintendent and administration for putting together that design committee, as it's been excellent working with them thus far. So we're looking forward to continue that process all the way through design. As we get dig deeper and move further into the design process, once we get to design development, that's when you start to see floor plans starting to take shape. So you'll see in this example that we're showing for Carrizozo, that's when the building actually begins to become a floor plan. We start to actually take a look at the finishes, the colors, what the site plan is going to look like as you see how our buses are going to come in, how the parents will come in and drop off. And then we'll start to do some actual fly-throughs and animations. So in this example for Carrizozo Municipal Schools, another occupied campus project that we've been very proud to be a part of, you'll get to see how it looks like when you come to the front door, what your playground space will consist of, and then any important things that you all will want to reuse as a district. So let's say there's murals or important features that make your campus what it is, makes it special. We'll plan to reuse those. For Carrizozo, they really wanted to reuse this bell clock tower and then this octagonal pavilion we tried to incorporate onto the new site plan. So we'll get to bring along some elements potentially after we investigate them and make sure that they can be reused safely to your new campus. So that way you get that really important alumni heritage that makes Dexter what it is. And then we don't just stop there. So when we have some to present to the board and community members, we'll come to you all during basketball games. We'll probably be during basketball season to show updates of the design. We'll bring some boards, talk to your community members, let them know how things are going in person through verbal communication. But then for those that maybe want to talk to us, and leave a note, we have some other ways that people can provide comments on the new school and things that they want to see. And it's important that we make this very much a community project and everyone knows what's going on to really build that excitement of where, like in schools that I grew up in, where you will go as a student, maybe where your kids go and then their kids' kids. We're planning for this building to last a long time in your community. And those who can attend in person, we're happy to do websites and ways that people can communicate on there. So you can really log in, maybe even with the district's permission, link it to your district website, and then start to look at the progress of the design as we continue along at any point, at any leisure that anyone can get to that information. So that's a bit of an overview of our design process and what we're going to be doing at our next board meeting. For next steps, one thing we'll plan to have is we're going to complete the programming phase in January. And then from there, all of those schematic designs examples that I had shown you all will start to be developed. And we'll get to come back and show you all how your building is beginning to take shape and move forward. So at this point, Madam President, members of the board community, I stand for any questions you may have.
Do you guys have any questions?
We're looking forward to your visit tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that's so fun.
And so are we. I know it's always so exciting when we do the campus observations, but when we get to meet in person with the community and see the reactions and hear the concerns and also hear the hopes and dreams for the campus and how it's progressing, we're here to make that vision a reality as best we can as a team. So thank you so much again for having us as a part of this opportunity for your community, and we just look forward to a long, successful relationship working with you all.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank
you
you.
both for your time.
Thank you.
Safe travels tomorrow.
See you then. Take care.
Okay, so that was our construction report. We will be moving. Does anybody have anything to add? So item 3 is now 3A is now 3B, student report. So item 1 under that is the middle school math new building projects. And so that is in Fergie, I believe.
And it's just do intro, which lots of middle school and some high school was here. So the minute that we knew we were ready to move into design and construction and conversation and all of that,
Right.
we started having conversations because students have a voice, and I think their voice is probably the most important. So we just started to plant those seeds to have them think about, what would the ideal school look like? And, what are some things that you like? And what are some things about the building, that, that we could improve upon? And my staff is phenomenal. I didn't even ask them, but they just jumped in with both feet. So I'm gonna turn the floor over to Ms. Elena Teo, and she can talk to you about what her students have done. Then I'll step back in a minute.
Yes, so one of the projects for the math class, of the STEM program is improve your school building. And so I had just told them about it, and Ms. Fergie announced that she was gonna ask us about it, so it kind of went hand in hand. And all of the students picked the project, something that they would fix at the school. Except they picked the 3 different ones that we have, because almost everybody wanted to fix the bathroom lock doors. Which it makes perfect sense, right? We want bathrooms that lock. But they proposed that he has a snack shack, and then they have a proposition with the gym, and they have a proposition, with our playground, except the boys are gonna do it in Spanish.
Cool.
They're gonna say some stuff in English.
Está bien.
So the board first, say your names. I'm Aura. And on again. Right. For our new gym, for the new gym, we suggest to have an 80 feet tall gym by 92 feet wide, allowing us more opportunities to play games like volleyball, t-ball, and others. Having a wider gym will allow us to have more intentions, allowing people to have more seats. The average gym will cost about $3,500 per square feet, not including the new benches. In our model, we have 6 basketball hoops, 76 hours each, 1 on each and 2 on each side, along with 1 volleyball net from $1,700 to $3,200.
I'm Lincoln. So the snapshot,
And he worked alongside with Manny, but Manny was feeling under the weather, so he couldn't make it.
it's just me. So for the snapshot, we would like to suggest for it to be the same size as an average classroom. In it, we will have 2 registers that cost $200 each, 2 refrigerators that will cost about $1,000 each. In it, what's it called? At least 3 shelves that will cost about $300 each. 1 clothes rack that will cost $150. We suggest the store should be worked by student council members and 1 teacher. The money will be raised here, used for field trips and Caesar Better and other events. We'll be selling the following items: chips, drinks, candy, Dexter Demons, merch, hot coffee, fresh fruit, and other items. The snack shack will be open Monday through Friday, during school hours, allowing students to go between classes if they need a snack. The store will also be open, when there are home games. It'll cost about $1,330. To build it, the price including foundation, framing, external elements, electrical, and plumbing.
Okay, cool.
Vamos a presentar sobre más juegos que queremos tener en esta escuela. Y queremos poner más juegos de los que ya hay. Y este es un thing, slide, una pared para escalar. ¿Y cuánto cuesta? Ah, 1,800 a 3,490. Para tener una escuela nueva, escogemos un patio de recreo más grande y más juegos. Nos gustaría tener más resbaladillas, columpios para para escalar. Los columpios cuestan entre 1,800 a $3,400. Las resbaladillas cuestan entre 4,000 a $9,700. Ballet para escalar cuesta entre $350 a $450. Se tomaría de 3 a 6 meses para obtener todo esto.
Oh, yeah. A lo mejor pueden, maybe you guys can leave your designs
Yes.
and that way tomorrow we can show, the Decker.
Not to interrupt, but we have a whole thing planned. I don't know what the Decker crew has planned,
But
but
you have it.
we have it planned.
You guys are more than welcome to go into my math classroom and look at all the other projects that they have. They even built a garden. At the beginning of the year, they were tired of just sitting here doing math. We want some hands-on.
Mhm.
So we build the garden, and so some of the kids just went above and beyond on building their garden. Talking about how much water they need and how much soil they need and all of this fun stuff. And I really have enjoyed working with them. And so just thank you guys for the opportunity to work with a bunch of great kids. Super respectful, and I am loving every minute of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for doing
Yes.
Gracias por traerlos. Thank you guys for bringing them. We know they can't drive themselves yet.
So Mrs. Bush's intermediate technology education class, they had planned to be here as well, but with basketball things going on, and we've kind of got the flu bug floating around, we just weren't able to have them here, but we're going to hopefully do the next best thing. And so this particular group of students, they've had a lot of time working with hardware and software. So they've been utilizing kind of a more simplified version of the CAD, the digital CAD system. It's called Tinkercad. And they've been redesigning classroom, everything from classroom spaces to classroom furniture, giving us, just some really good conversational points about, what their perspectives and things are. And then the photographs show some of the students working with the 3D printer, that they've been soldering some different projects together. They're just doing some really great things. And I'm sorry they weren't here to talk to you about it, but this gives you an idea of some of the really cool stuff that they're working on. We have a whole presentation from this group ready to go for our Decker team tomorrow as well.
How fun.
So, well,
Can I share this? The first
Yeah,
thing it
it's really
says,
funny, actually. It's
one
really
of the
good.
main problems with classroom furniture is the chair.
Yeah, chair.
I so agree.
They want armrests and they don't want to fall out of them.
I told them
And
that
height adjusters.
sky was the limit, that I
Yeah.
didn't want them to feel limited by anything because, we don't know what can come to fruition, and I wanted them to
No,
shoot for the
absolutely.
stars.
This is cool.
This is-
Thank you.
Thank you. Mhm. Hopefully DPS will be like, oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah, we'll find some. Yeah.
I feel like they will. They've all been very kind.
Oh,
And
thank
then our last student group, I'm gonna give the floor over to Mrs. Martinez. They've been doing amazing stuff in the classroom, in and out of the classroom. I will not do it justice, but these guys will.
So for those of you that have not had the opportunity to meet, my name is Rhonda Martinez. I teach half-time middle school agriculture and one high school ag class, and then I teach the other time middle school Avid. with the expansion this year of our program, I'm going to turn it over to the kiddos here in just a minute. One of the things that Mr. Pierce wanted to be able to do the last couple of years. One of the things that Mr. Pierce has wanted to do the last couple of years. Piece of road. Oh, yeah, there you go. Okay. It's not responding. There we go.
Yeah.
So one of the things that Mr. Pierce, I wanted to do over the last couple of years and just hadn't had the manpower because it does take quite a few, is to be involved with something called New Mexico Ag in the Classroom. And we have currently about 27 students that have been trained in 2 separate books for grades pre-K through 5th grade. And then I'll let the kiddos take it away. So when I first want to stand up and introduce yourselves and tell them what grade you're in. And then I'll get you guys started.
Hello guys, my name is Maddie. I am in 10th grade and we all participated in Ag in the Classroom.
So my name is Braulio Santos. I'm in 10th grade. This is my 3rd year in ag, and this is the very first year I've ever gotten to do something like this.
Hi, my name is Taylor Edwards. This is my first year doing this. My name is Hi, my name is Eliana Rodriguez. This is my 2nd year in Ag and my first year doing this. Hi, my name is Felicia Mendoza. I'm in 8th grade and this is my first time ever doing.
Welcome, guys.
I'll show you guys, and then Maddie and Braulio, you can have at it. Okay. So next to FFA. This year, we have the opportunity to expand our FFA programs with a part-time middle school agriculture teacher. One of the programs that we now have the opportunity and manpower to participate is in New Mexico Ag in the Classroom. Ag in the Classroom is a national agricultural literacy and education program focusing on grades pre-K through 5th. It is supported by the American Farm and Livestock Bureau. So far, we have visited 5 elementary classes and worked with about 125 students.
So National Ag in the Classroom is able to improve student achievement by applying authentic agricultural-based content as a context to teach core curriculum concepts in science, social studies, language arts, and nutrition. National Ag in the Classroom is a leading organization to provide quality classroom resources and teacher professional development for agricultural literacy.
And this is Ag in the Classroom. It doesn't always have to be ag. It can be any topic from math to science, as it says, nutrients, language arts. It can be any class. But we thought it was very important for us Dexter FFA students to bring education about ag to elementary people and students who know nothing about ag. And again, in like a more not complex way, so they understand what they're eating and they understand what they're drinking when they're eating at school.
And the professional development that's provided by the National Ag in the Classroom organization actually is open to any teacher. You do not have to be an ag teacher. You don't have to be in a rural community. It's open to any teacher, grades K through 12. And there's some amazing STEM-based products and lessons and hands-on activities that really teach the kids about where their food comes from, about all the different careers that are up and coming in agriculture, and the fact that like animal nutrition, we're going to have a 15% job increase in animal nutrition over the next 10 years. Just because of the amount of people that are currently in that field that are getting ready to retire, plus the fact that our global population by 2050 is going to reach 9 billion people. And we are losing agricultural based land at an average of 4 acres per minute. So having, especially young kids that want to get out and teach others about ag is important.
Since we have the New Mexico farm to table grain and the purchase as much as our produce as possible, local farms we choose. The vegetables we eat for the garden through 5th, for grade through 1st and 5th. Plants feed me for pre-K through 2nd. And these are the books that we read when we came over to the elementary school. These are the books we read. The vegetables we eat is a more complex, not complex but the more difficult version. And the Plants That Feed Me is a very simple version of the book.
Once the program is done, all of the books that we have that were gifted to us from New Mexico Ag and from the Livestock Bureau, those will be left with the classroom to be added to their classroom library.
What is agriculture? Plants and animals we raise to eat fiber. The plants and animals that provide us with fiber for our children. Floriculture, flowers and mushrooms. Forestry, the natural resources of our forests and wildlife. Fuel, the oil, natural gas, and oil methods that provide energy.
So one of the things that a lot of people don't necessarily realize is that agriculture also includes natural resource management. And and that's a huge thing, especially in the state of New Mexico, where a large portion of our state income comes directly from natural resource management. Between hunting licenses, fishing licenses, people who are coming from out of state and spending their dollars in the state of New Mexico for prize game animals, that is a huge thing. And having students understand the importance of managing that natural resource is just as important as understanding where their food comes from.
So this is me and Bralia presenting to the third graders. It was Miss Granada's class. So each presentation has a lesson based on the children's book, which would be the vegetables we eat, which would be the third through fifth. And we presented the lessons and also had hands-on games and exploration activities, because we know, of course, third graders are not going to sit there and listen to you talk for an hour straight. They're going to get squirmy. They're going to want to do stuff. So we had little activities that we can do, like a little plant root stem game, like a song game. And we had like, for third through fifth, we had a little riddle that they can guess what plant it is.
So for this presentation, we had two activities that we were able to accept. And here, Braulio and Maddie, and I think Eliana, you were with us that day in that classroom. Did he speak? Okay. So they were able to play bingo. So they were given a clue on the board. As you can see, they were given a clue on the board, and the students had to decide based on the clue and the information if they had that on their bingo card. So because we really wanted them to understand if they were eating the roots, the flower, the stem, the leaf, the seed, the fruit, what part of the plant are they eating? And one thing that I have to, brag on, especially with all of our presentation opportunities, we have had the opportunity to work with our students both in English and Spanish. We've made sure that every team that we send out has at least one bilingual student on it. So we have been able to support our ESL learners at the elementary school level as well. And the kids who are not reading do a great job of taking the picture books around, asking the kiddos questions. I think Keely was asking the student right here if they could point to something. I don't remember what it was, but the kiddos were laughing about it, but it was great. And then one of the other activities that we get to do is, for some of our smaller kiddos, for using little tiny beans on a card is not a good idea. We have a hoop game. So there are 6 hoops set out on the floor, and the students have colored bean bags, and they have to decide whether the plants that they are given from our list, whether they're eating the roots, the stems, the leaves, the flower, the fruits, or the seeds. So the kids get to toss that into the hoop and to figure out what they do. And then, of course, if they get 75% correct, they get this cute little certificate. Anyone want to talk about this one?
The lessons also have an opportunity for students to get out of their seats and move around using songs and dance about the parts of their plant, as well as a would you rather eat. Here our members are doing some cardio and yoga with the students based on which fruit or vegetable they would prefer to eat.
So we had the opportunity to take with us. But like I said, we have 27 students that are currently trained. And we have a few more classrooms at the elementary school that are asking if we can come next week, I believe. So we're trying to get a couple of those things arranged. But if you have questions, I'm sure the students would be happy to answer them.
Good job, guys. Yeah, so good. Did you guys do cardio with them or no? Yoga? No? It was the other kids? Thank you guys so much for doing that.
Thank you. Presentation, guys.
Plus, I'm sure you guys learned along with them on some of these.
Oh, definitely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I think we have a couple future teachers that are missed.
Yes.
Sounds like it. Thank you.
Let's see it.
And along those same lines, before we go forward, I've got a wonderful letter from the New Mexico FFA Association, and it commends our Dexter FFA, specifically in veterinary sciences. And they were commended for doing a great job at the national convention this past October. And I appreciate that, and very, very impressive. And they sent the letter to me, so I wanted to make sure that everyone knew about it. We let the appropriate teachers know as well.
The vet science contest is incredibly intense. The students who go through the vet science program actually have enough knowledge to be certified as veterinary assistants by the time they finish the program. So being able to qualify, and in the state of New Mexico, we have 127 other chapters. Vet science is one of the most difficult and one of the most popular contests. So to have our team qualify for nationals is absolutely amazing, and they did a really good job.
Good, thank you.
That's exciting.
Thank you for the link.
Are you guys here to speak? Yes?
Yes, we're in.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, I don't see y'all. Okay. Okay, item 3C, which is now the board report. Does anybody have anything they would like to share or?
Not for me.
I'm good.
I just know it's been a super busy time. So good things going on. As always, I appreciate what that takes from our staff to make it possible for our kids. Thank you.
I just want to say, like, I've watched a lot of volleyball, watched a lot of football in the last few weeks specifically. I was fortunate enough to drop one of my kiddos off to fly to do the vet science. And I'll tell you what, those kids were torn to leave here because that's when right immediately after following the floods. And so it was a tough spot for them. They wanted to be here, but were gone. And so I know all four of them, their hearts were here. With that being said, I would like to say thank you to the Dexter community. The past almost 2 months have been tough, still ongoing tough, right? People are still dealing with the devastation and having to tear down homes and repair homes, and they're displaced and all of the things. And so we've seen it. It's kind of a heartwarming and heartbreaking all at the same time. I feel like I've been fortunate and blessed to witness the who's and thems and watching everyone do what they do best. And so I just want to say thank you to the community for that. So thank you. Watching compassion and giving through actions with hands and feet, but also with sheer presence and not meaningless, yet are a symbol of I see you, I feel you, and I'm with you. Our little town and school are intertwined in so many ways, and all that does not go without notice. Some things are seen and some are unseen, but somehow the quote that talks about how people will never forget how you made them feel rings true. We know that when we are connected to Dexter's character, and we know it when we're connected to Dexter's values. We know it when it's rooted into what Dexter stands for. We know when it's genuine and not done to manipulate, control with pristine of truths. The vision for transparency and truth have been at the forefront of our elected terms for us up here. We have aimed at being transparent with the superintendent search process, community meet and greets, our vision of a leader with the consulting firm, and with phone calls, emails, flyers, QR codes, social media to acquire the community's input. We wanted that survey to be true to what the community wanted. We wanted raw, we wanted your voices to be heard. To follow that, we shared the results and made those results be our guide for expectations and goals and what we want our district to look like. Not for us, but for the community, because that was y'all's voice. This board does have duties to fulfill and goals to reach. The essential duties also include budget, policy, and the superintendent. While these are our duties, Our day-to-day lives do not allow for 100% collaboration to occur. We rely on the superintendent through accountability. Accountability also requires time on our part and transparency so that you, the constituents, know it's occurring. In turn, many aspects of the superintendent's duties fall on the direction we as a combined board decide, but are also subject to being carried out by him or her, happens to be a him now, and by his or her staff and personnel. The board has no control on these actions, steps, and or decisions taken by the superintendent and his or her staff. Superintendent can choose or not choose what the board recommends. The board cannot and should not muscle their way and risk jeopardizing and making the district vulnerable. The board has been placed here by you. I, as a member alone, have no strength. Each of these ladies alone here have been dealt the same hand. Every board decision must be done here together in front of you, physically or digitally, right? The decisions made are only ours if you heard it or saw it here. I know that nods happen every now and again, but so do the shakes. I, for one, know there are misconceptions and differing magnitudes of perceived control and how it can skew the public's opinion of the board. There is no blame and no harm held to anyone regarding perceptions, misconceptions, or not knowing. However, I do want to recite this quote by Maya Angelou. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. And so my ask tonight of Superintendent Graves, in an aim and display of my duty to our constituents and the people I serve, is a request for a presentation regarding the survey conducted at the beginning of the school year. Specifically, I would appreciate information on the actions taken, and I'll give you a list, Dr. Graves. Actions taken to prioritize and address each of the top 5 issues, any measurable progress or results in relation to these issues, challenges or obstacles faced in addressing these priorities and how they were overcome or will be addressed in the future. And as the community is aware, those were they were posted, and the 5 priorities were identified as high quality instruction for all levels, graduates prepared for college, career, and life, recruiting and retaining excellent teachers, growing career tech ed opportunities to include certifications, apprenticeships, and internships, and maintaining community and school traditions. I would like to request, either at the next meeting or perhaps a special board meeting so that we could start the year off, when we come back for winter break. So I personally would like to do it before winter break, but I don't know if the rest of the board would be on board with that or not. And so thank you all. I appreciate all of it, and blessings. I'll always wrap it up. Thank you. Anybody else? Thank you, Kelly. Well,
Thank you.
item 3D, director reports.
Anyone? I'll go right quick. Just real quick, just want to let y'all know, the field house roof is gonna be getting started. We're getting a complete new roof on the field house. It'll start January 6th. It should last approximately 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. The work will. Whenever it's done, we will have a 20-year warranty on that roof. Good news. No, then we'll be able to start on the inside of that building. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully.
Elementary November and December highlights. The teachers revised action plan to better meet students' needs during the month of November. We had pre-performance. Students pre-K through 5 enjoyed the event supported by our fine arts graph, and the performance was Coyote and the Counting Game. Our Thanksgiving lunch was once again a hit with students, families, and staff. Our MLSS training, some staff members expanded their knowledge and are set to provide professional development during our PLC meetings for the other staff that couldn't attend. We had our Scholastic Book Fair last Thursday with a family event, a family reading night event, and was a great opportunity for engagement. Our middle of the year assessments will be conducted this week, with data reports available this week, January's school board meeting. Student performance. We have some students singing at the Joyce Center this Thursday. They were invited by a gentleman who asked us to select some students, and we did, and they'll be attending that this Thursday.
Oh, I want to come to that. I love watching little kids sing. What time would they be?
I'm sorry?
What time?
Is it the
It's okay.
Midway one or the Hagerman one?
11:30. If they're going to the Joy Center,
In
Roswell.
Okay.
I believe it's 11:30, but I can get back to you with
Okay.
the exact.
Thank you.
Our kindergarten students will be having their annual gingerbread hunt on for Tuesday the 17th, along with the Polar Express event on the 18th. And then, of course, as you know, we had our students from the middle and high school present to our elementary students, the FFA program. And then we have our annual Christmas program scheduled for 9 o'clock on the 20th. Please remember to check the elementary page on the school website because we report daily and do the weekly to that page. So check it out. We have lots of information on there and we wish everyone a safe and happy holidays.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mixture. It's been very busy. Football finished second in state. We're very proud of the coaches and the boys. They put up a really good fight. We had an NMAA training for coaches regarding athletic culture. All coaches were invited. Many did attend. 5 players were selected to Team Red All-Stars for football, and our coaches were also selected to coach that team. They ended up with a victory, 37-8. So proud of everybody involved. We completed the first annual Dave Campbell Invitational Girls Basketball Tournament. It was a round robin. We hope to expand it to a full 18 tournament next year. Our boys were also in Hot Springs. They started out, and some of those boys, I have to commend them because they went straight from football on Saturday to basketball on Monday. And they haven't had very much practice, but they will. And just so you know, our fall banquet for volleyball, football, and cross country is this Friday, the 13th at 6 o'clock in the high school cafeteria. Invitations will be going out tomorrow. Coaches have told their athletes, and it is the athlete plus 2 guests. So,
Nice.
thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
No volunteers?
No
My turn.
volunteers.
I want to take a minute to just describe what teaching in Dexter is like. I got a call from Bernadette about a week or 2 ago saying that they were in a little bit of a scramble to get substitutes. If you know anything about what principals have to go through at the beginning of the day, it's not just about getting the day started and doing the announcements. It's about making sure kids are covered and that we have appropriate supervision, most important. So she's in a little bit of a pickle, and I thought I'd be a generous. I can handle this. So where do you need me? And she said, she smiled real big and said, hey, how about 3rd grade? I figured I could handle that. And so I went down and took 3rd grade class. I was very impressed. All the kids had a seat. They raised their hand one at a time. And here were some of the questions I got before we started the lesson. Dr. Tom, I've got a red dog at home. What do you think about that? And I said, well, that's very nice. And then the next person raised their hand and I've got a yellow cat at home. What do you think about that? And then the next person raised their hand and said, would you tie my shoelace before we go to lunch? And then the next person said, what time do we go to lunch? Then the next one raised their hand and said, do we have to do homework tonight? And then I finally said, your teacher left some great. They did, which was awesome because that helped me. And the times problem that we're going to work on today was 4 times 5. So in my infinite wisdom, I went to the board and wrote 4 times 5 equals 20. And then 2 hands went up and said, well, the answer's right, Dr. Tom, but you didn't do it right. And so I said, well, why don't you come up and show me how to do it? So they came up and showed me. And I didn't understand it, but it still came to 20. And I probably said, was that new math? And they just looked at me funny and we went on. But they did a great job. Everyone should have to substitute teach. It's not easy, but I got through it and I slept well.
Did you do playground duty?
No, thank you.
Did he really did good?
I got some.
No,
Like,
she did
check for vital.
observation and there were no parent complaints.
It's a learning experience.
But it's a good thing. And I told y'all when you hired me, I was trying to give into each school this good wake up call.
It's like when you give a mouse a cookie, you know,
Uh-huh.
it's like, you never get to that.
They're very
full
smart.
answer.
even in third grade.
Yeah.
Riding the after-school bus is also very educational.
Thank you, Dr. Graves. Okay, so we are moving forward. Item 4, public forum. So this is a time where the public can speak and we do, did you guys want to?
I put that down before I realized. what it says.
Okay, okay, so we don't have anyone. Okay. I don't think. No, we do not. Okay, so we're good. No, no one signed up for public forum, so we can move on. Item 5A, the voluntary board candidate interest statements. And so we have our 3 candidates, and I just want to say, I would like to commend, all 3 of them. They are here. We had kind of a little round robin interview session without a quorum, kind of wonky-do, but we figured it out. But I want to commend these 3 people in front of us, ready to take on the weight that most people don't know. And it doesn't and should never include power, control, favoritism, manipulation, half-truths, or self-interest, but rather passion for all kids, persistence, endurance, perseverance, and humility. All of those through authenticity, compassion, integrity, and full truths in our service. The goal has never strayed from being great on the behalf, and these people are ready to do it on behalf of students. And so they have expressed their willingness to serve and their desire to serve, and now they have the opportunity, if they'd like, it's an opportunity, not a must, to speak to the public if they wish. So you guys have the table. First up, we have Mr. Luis Davalos, if you would.
Sure.
Wherever you want to go for it. And thank you, guys. This is not easy for them, so. please go.
Awesome. Well, first, I would just like to say thank you guys for giving us the opportunity to reach out and hopefully fill this spot. My name is Luis Davalos first, and I am from a small town, Floyd, New Mexico. And we're very blessed and fortunate to have grown up in a very small community, much like this, much smaller than this actually, but still, I get the same feeling here as well. Originally from California, moved to Floyd in '92, 5th grade, and the small community was small enough that they embraced me. I understand all about the ESL. In California, they didn't take the time to teach any English to any of the students if you did not know English. If you're a little more advanced, you get separated into the group, and then they started doing the bilingual and stuff like that. I wasn't part of a home where we spoke English, so I didn't get to know. I didn't get to fall into that group. Now moving to Floyd, again, they embraced me, and I was part of, the ESL program. 2 great teachers grabbed me and broke it down, dog, cat, the whole works. Very fortunate to be a part of that. And in that, I was able to look up to a couple of, or several board members, but I remember a couple in particular, the late Jimmy, which after a long day of school or after a long day of work with cattle and ranching and farming, he'd kick off his dirty boots, throw on some different pair of boots, or sometimes with the same old dirty boots, and go down to the school and partake in the school board. People like him and the other people that have served along as we have here, to me, I feel like there's nothing to gain other than sheer happiness of what the next group of leaders are going to be. I remember we've all heard the speeches. We always talk about the next group that's going to be leading the next group. And that day to me, I feel like is here. It's time for us to step up. And I myself, and the other 2 members, it's like, you know what, it's time to step up. It's time to give back. So I just want to reach out and say thank you to the community. After the last 2 months, we have been tried, and you know what? I am very happy with how the whole community has united to move forward. Very blessed. Thank you for the opportunity once again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davalos. Mr. Rosario Gomez.
Good evening, members of the Dexter School Board, education, staff, and community members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. It's an honor to stand before you and express my desire to serve as a member of this board. I have deep commitment to the success of our school and well-being of our children, and I believe that as a board, we have ability to make a lasting positive impact on our community. As I consider the responsibility that comes with being a part of the school board, one guiding principle stands out to me: doing what's best for the kids. Our students should always be at the center of every decision we make, and that's what I will strive to focus on every day. But doing what's best for the kids requires more than just good intentions. It requires transparency, consistency, and commitment to building an environment where all stakeholders are heard and valued. One of the things, one of the first things I would bring to the board is a dedication to transparency. I understand that trust is a cornerstone of any healthy relationship, and trust is something that must be earned, especially in the relationship between the school board and the community. It's crucial that our decisions and the reasoning behind them are clear, accessible, and open to discussion. If we're transparent in our actions, the community will have the confidence to know that their voices are being heard and that we're working together towards the shared goals. Along with transparency, consistency will be the key. We'll need to ensure that the policies, decisions, and actions we take are dependable and predictable, and that the board must be stable and reliable force in our community. One that acts with fairness, equity, and integrity. Whether we're addressing day-to-day matters or long-term strategies, goals, consistency builds trust, and that's something I am committed to. But there's something else I feel strongly about: our staff, our teachers, administrators, and support staffs are the backbone of our district. They're the ones who work directly with our children every day. And this is absolutely vital that we create a positive, supportive culture for them. We need to empower our staff, encourage their professional growth, and ensure their value. When staff members feel supported and appreciated, they can bring their best selves to the classroom, which directly impacts the success and happiness of our students. I also recognize that one of the challenges we face as a board is the need to rebuild trust between the board and the community. This is a task I do not take lightly. For our school to thrive, we need strong collaboration, and that only happens when we build bridges and strengthen relationships. I will work diligently to ensure that the voices of our parents, teachers, students, and community members are not only heard, but actively incorporated in our decisions making process. By creating an environment where everyone feels valued or part of the team, we can tackle challenges together and come up with creative solutions for the betterment of our district. Finally, I believe that creating a team environment will be one of the most important things I can do as a board member. This board should be a united group working towards common goals and always keeping our students in forefront of our discussion. We need to build an environment where open communication is the norm, where we trust and respect each other, and where every member of the board and community knows that they have a voice. In closing, I want to emphasize that my commitment to serving as a board member is rooted in genuine human passion for education and a deep belief in our community. I'm ready to roll up my sleeves, work hard, and serve with integrity. Together, we can create a school environment where every child strives, every educator is empowered, and the entire community feels connected and valued. Thank you for your time and consideration. I would be honored to serve as a member of the Dixie School Board. Thank you.
And, we have Mr. Ramiro Munoz, but yeah, we've had the conversation. Yeah, he's been framed. Thank you, Ramiro. He is a 2000, though I forgot.
I don't remember right now, but I've been here for 23
Yeah.
years. And Dexter, so.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Ramiro. Okay, so do we have any discussion or, so the next item is discussion and consideration to approve candidate to fill board vacancy, which is item 5B. Does anybody have any questions or anything for the candidates?
No, not for me. I just think all three candidates in doing the interviews brought forth some great strengths. They all have some very good strengths.
And my apologies for not being able to be here for that. I thought I had a prior commitment.
Anything else? Go ahead and vote. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you so much. Your willingness to serve is unmatched. A lot of people say they want to do it, but then they don't. So you guys, that's amazing for you guys to even just step up and out of your comfort. It's not easy. I understand that. Thank you. So do we have a motion on the floor for consideration to approve a candidate to fill the board vacancy?
I'd like to move that we take into consideration for Mr. Luis Davalos to be our next board member.
We have a motion on the floor. Any discussion or a second?
I'll second.
Then we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So, Mr. Davalos, thank you. Oh, so motion passes. Mr. Davalos, congratulations. And Ramiro and Rosario, heartfelt. And we would love to see you guys here every time.
Thank you.
Please
If
come.
input
Thank you guys.
matters.
I mean, that's
Mr.
what we need. We need people who are like you guys. You guys are interested. You want to see us, work for you, for the community, for the students. So coming in to the board meetings and letting us know, what we can do to make things better. So
Yeah.
don't feel like, just because it didn't work out, this time that it's not something that you can help us with. Because we're always looking to see what we need to improve and what we need to do to better the district for our students, because they're the ones who are gonna hopefully take care of us. So
We want to be great for them. We don't want to be great for ourselves. So, I mean, we have 2 students in here, so that's our priority. Mr. Davalos, I believe that we will need to do a swearing in, but I'm not sure if we can do a special board meeting to do that before the winter break or
I think we can wait till the next board
Till
meeting. Now that you made a
January.
Decision. we
so
can
January
start.
12th. So, yeah, we will be in touch. We will be in touch, Mr. Davalos.
Thank you
guys
very
are
much
welcome.
for the opportunity.
Absolutely. And thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Mendoza.
guys for
Ms.
your
Adler.
interest and willingness to serve.
It's not easy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 5B, discussion and, that was it. Item 5C, approval of out-of-state travel, Quiz Bowl Small School National Championship Tournament. I think this is y'all.
This is your
Yes, yes, you have arrived. You have arrived.
I'll do a flashback, we'll go back and forth here. As you can see, we had a bad day with sick days here. Most notably our teacher and coach, Miss Loveland, wasn't able to make it.
Gotcha.
And so we're here instead. Happy to. We started really around 2022. It was originally for Gifted, it was for a different competition entirely, the REC academic competition. Within that, me and Sebastian joined halfway through and really enjoyed it. The next year, it branched out of Gifted and Miss Loveland took over for the competition. We did the REC competition. We did the Skills USA competition, of which we got first place at state for that one. I went to Atlanta this last summer for that competition. And we started this NIQT competition, which is a national quiz tournament that we first did it starting in April. We really learned about it around February. Did pretty well.
but just for our first time. So we decided to come back again here. And I guess I'll let you talk about our first week.
Oh, so yeah, it was held in Rio Doso. Do you remember the specific school it was held in? It was in the high school. The high school. Okay. So the way that it works is that there's two big schools that qualify for Chicago, and then two small schools. So obviously, what was it? It was Oregon Mountain and Las Cruces, and then those were for the big schools.
Yes, and NIMI, Mexican Military Institute.
Oh, cool.
They got the big school. They got first, second place. We got third place. We were like one push from getting second place overall, and we were the top small school team to
Boom.
win. So.
Nice, guys.
So we're gonna be traveling to Chicago in April, and as you can see, I'm already ready.
Geared up, my man. You are geared up, buddy.
You know what they call Chicago? The Windy City. You'll be able to compare whether they really have more wind than we do.
We're trying to rank up our national trips. So we went to Indianapolis for FFA, Atlanta for skill, Chicago for this one.
Yeah.
While we're in Chicago, we'll be able to represent our Dexter Demons well, one of the few teams out of New Mexico to go to this competition here, as well as learn even more things from Chicago. 2 examples, or I guess 3, are things we've already kind of planned around, which is going to the Natural Museum there, as well as the Art Institute in Chicago, which has the American Gothic and Night House painting, among others, as well as my personal thing, wanting to go on the architecture riverboat tour, which goes through all the famous architecture in Chicago, as well as many more things to do there. Give it to that.
I do know in the museum they do have the dinosaur T-Rex named Sue, which is like the T-Rex.
I've seen Sue before. I have a Sue t-shirt, actually.
We're gonna get one of those. So the T-Rex has like the most like amount of bones. So like that's really important, like with knowing like the structure of how dinosaurs work. So that's his.
They're famous
No,
for their
I'm with you, Manuel.
I like dinosaurs.
So that's all. We have around 6 months. Our current price is around 10,000, which seems like a lot at first, but we were able to raise around 20,000 for Skills USA in about a month and a half. So these 6 months should be plenty of time for us. I think that is about everything. So please.
So you, so you guys are asking for permission to attend and then you guys will do fundraising?
Yes.
Because you don't want to fundraise and then us be like, Okay, so we have approval of out-of-state travel for April 23rd through 28th to Chicago. What? Basketball still going?
Oh, no. I looked it up. It ends like around a week before.
Yeah, I was gonna
If the
say.
Bulls make the playoffs.
Yeah, there's a chance.
Like, it could be more expensive.
Most likely,
Fundraise more.
most likely, if we
Worth
go
it.
to a game, it'd be a Chicago Cubs game, baseball.
That's
stuff.
cool. Yeah.
I don't think I would jacket.
Or White Sox, but you can buy a jacket.
I move
This was
we,
good. I will have to say before, Ms. Lovell put it in for 4 students, 2 chaperones. There is a chance, depending on if we gain extra money, the 4 students is our main A team, but with that, the whole school qualified technically. So you take as many as possible. If we would take our extra 2 members that were on the B team for Dexter. And so there's a chance we may take 6 students, but right now we're just putting 4, 'cause that's our goal.
Okay. No problem. Thank you. Thank you, boys. Great presentation. Superb always. You guys always are so much fun. You guys need to get like patches or something on these national trips and like have a patch.
Chicago's famous for their deep dish pizza too.
Yeah,
We should, that and
hot dogs.
Well, we
Okay.
Not like Indianapolis.
I move we approve out-of-state travel for the small school national championship tournament.
Okay, and we have a second. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Thank you guys.
Guys,
Thank you.
you know where to find us if you're fundraising.
We'll be here next meeting.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
They come, they eat, they leave. Okay, item 4D. Okay, so we are moving into the policies. These were advisory policies, so we did the first last meeting. These are second readings, and we're not going to read entirely through them because they are lengthy. So we had item D as approval of policy advisory number
229DO, disposition of school facilities to charter schools. And that these are a little, they're older. They had just kind of, I think, gotten lost. And so they're here. They needed to have been done then, but we're taking care of it now, so it's going to be okay. Item D was that. Item E is equal employment opportunity, number 230 GBA. Item F is number 231 GCIA, teacher residency program.
I have,
Okay. go
I
ahead.
would like to maybe not move forward with that one until we get a little bit more information on
Okay.
the residency program. And I think we had talked about it initially, but then we
Yes.
just haven't really.
Yeah,
looked.
because I think Dr. Grace, maybe you were gone the last meeting and then we never collaborated as a,
Information on that?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll get it for you.
yeah, and I don't think we ever well, we haven't been together. 'Cause Can't be, so unless we're here. Item G is retiree return to work, number 232. 233 is non-discrimination related to reproductive and gender affirming healthcare. Number 234 is Human Rights Act protection of gender identity. Number 235, school board election and holiday, and we've already observed that actually, so that one's just a matter.
It's a matter of record.
Yeah, it's a matter of record. Item K is advisory number 236, food services regulation, EFR and food services. And then item L is number 237, open enrollment. And actually that one, yeah, we may need a little bit of information on that one as well, I believe. So I don't know if we can bulk pass them with the
If you will
Subject.
approve all the ones other than the two that you just
Mhm.
mentioned, then I'll handle those and I'll bring them back in the next agenda.
Okay, so if somebody wants to make a motion to approve all but item F and item L, if that's what you guys feel like you.
I'll make a motion that we approve all of the policy advisories other than the 231 and the 237.
Okay, we have a,
F and L.
okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
So we have approved all policy advisories, number 231, 232, 233, 234, 235, 236. And we will come back to item F and item L, which is the number 231 teacher residency program, and number 237, which is the open enrollment.
All of those are available online if you'd like to read them
Right.
completely.
Thank you.
And we can, if you're interested in that, we can get you the exact information to be able to find them quickly.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Miles. Item 6, finance and facilities. Item A, approval of November bills and payroll. In those packets, we did have those in the packet. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? Anything
I
to
just had a
discuss?
question. I did have a question. I wasn't able to make the finance meeting. Just on the schools, the SPED 9. So we're showing the balance in the red.
ESP 9, the 31701. Yes, the amount is not true. However, ever at the beginning of the year, I put a lot of open blanket POs in place. 31701 pays for our maintenance supplies, our consumables. So one of our biggest expenses is our custodial supplies. So we just have enough room in there, or we have enough room on the PO. We're gonna, this year alone, Chris has already decreased that custodial by, it was right around 18,000.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't
For 3 months. Due to the way the custodians order their supplies from the maintenance department. I'm sorry, I got off subject, but so I need to decrease that one. However, that money comes in every month from the county. So at some point we'll have a budget increase also. So if we end up with funds left over at the end of the year, we just don't want our POs to run out of room so that, Debbie can't cut a check.
I don't know if that's the one that I was referring to.
Yeah, the SB 9, the local SB 9, 31701.
So I was going off of this one here. Is that the one?
Yes,
The-
a single page, yes.
Okay.
Oh, no.
No.
You're holding up a packet.
Yeah,
What
this
is
one is the Dexter School Sped 9.
The SPED.
Yes.
I heard SB9.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. But hey, that's good to know too. Yeah, that was good to know too. Just on this one, because I'm showing, the remaining budget 0, and then we've got the negative. But then when we're looking at the 24-25, it's 313. So there's like a difference of 58,571, but then we're in the red here. So I just,
25, 153 Medicaid.
yes.
Yeah. So that, we receive Medicaid funding every month. Our ancillary staff report their services they
Okay.
provide. And then that generates funding for us from the co-op. Rather than budget, that fund is reported in, based on cash rather than budget. Because we can have all the budget in the world, but if you don't have the cash to pay for it.
Right.
So because that fund is generated monthly, we base it on cash. Now, however, the year-to-date expenditures and encumbrances, that encumbrance has salary all the way through June 30th. So by the end of the year, we will generate enough cash in there. We have more than enough budget, but that particular fund, we need to make sure we have cash.
Basically, by the end of the year, it'll flip the other direction.
We should have a balance at the end of the year, although this year Medicaid, we are paying for more. We had picked up an additional position this year. They picked up the safety officer salary, and we were paying for.
So that's what made that.
But-
Just another
So,
reason
so
to
we are,
basically-
so we are paying a safety officer out of Medicaid?
Yes, that was, promised during budget time, it was. Yes, that was supposed to be done.
Yeah, I for some reason thought that wasn't gonna happen, actually. I thought it was gonna come out of, operational, not out of Medicaid.
Yeah, I was directed to get out of
Medicaid.
And there's no way to allocate that from somewhere else at this point.
We could put it in operational, but it's gonna be the same kind of, it's an extra position where we lost the. COVID.
Right, for the COVID funding, yeah, the ESSER monies. I remember that, I do remember that conversation being had, but I thought that was gonna be out of operational and not out of, I know that it was talked to us about coming out of Medicaid initially, but then I thought that we were like, we didn't want to pull that from there. So,
Yes, I was directed that it was going to go.
The good news is we talk about the budget for the next year. We'll address. that.
right, I guess my concern though, Dr. Graves, is that even allowed? Are we allowed to do that?
Medicaid is discretionary funding.
It just becomes discretionary.
Yes.
I didn't have any more questions, just the clarification on that one.
Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, Dr. Graves.
Do we have any funds to like buy the football? The All-Star kids, their helmet?
That would be needed, that needs to be an AD question, an athletic director question, or Dr. Graves.
Is that the ones they competed in this past?
Yeah, and I think it's $300 a helmet.
What happens there, Dr. Graves, is when they go, they usually will get they take Dexter stickers, and those kids have their own school stickers. So then they trade off stickers and they end up with stickers on the helmet.
Do you know how many we're talking about?
5.
I'll find out.
I thought that on Saturday, actually. I was like, oh, I hope they.
And I was trying to get some sponsors for them, but
Good
see
idea.
what you can do. Thank you.
Okay, so item 6A, approval of November bills and payroll.
I move we approve the November bills and payroll.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Well, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, November bills and payroll are paid, and thank you, Jeannie, for answering those questions. Item 6B, presentation of budgets, adjustments and transfers, and there's no action here.
Yeah, there was only one budget adjustment. That was with our New Mexico pre-K program. there's a 7% admin and direct costs that we moved to have a budget in that.
Anybody have any questions, comments? Nope. Okay, item 7, legal issues. Dr. Graves?
None to report at this time.
Item 8, personnel. Item A, new hires, Nayeli Anderson, and she joins us live. Back in the back. Welcome. Welcome, Nayeli.
Which class did you graduate with? 2014.
She's got a lot of stake in the game too with some kids in our school, so we're excited.
She's gonna buy us all steak.
Welcome, Nayeli.
Welcome, Nayeli. Glad to have you. Item 8B, resignations. There are none. Item 9, correspondence, future meetings and events. Item A, do we have any, there was some correspondence, just like letters that were our spots. Item B, future meetings and events. So December 23rd through January 3rd is winter break. Are we all ready? So ready. January 6th, staff, PD, no school. January 7th, students return to class. And then January 13th is our next regular board meeting. That's when we will do swearing in for Mr. Lavalos. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. And then, I don't know, did you guys want to have a special meeting to do a presentation over the survey and the goals before winter break, or do we wait till the January 13th?
What dates would you recommend? Some, like, just not the 20th, please.
The 7th, maybe next Tuesday, before we leave, right? Tuesday the 17th.
I'm okay.
Would that be sufficient time, Dr. Graves?
I will not be here.
You will not be here.
I mean, you guys can have it without me, but I'll be in Las Cruces.
No, either Tuesday
On the
or
17th, Benny.
Oh, you'll be gone both days. So we just want to do it when we get return? Is that okay?
Yeah, you guys just get it to me and then.
Okay. So we'll just,
Okay.
so January 13th, we'll have swearing in and then presentation. Okay, item 10, adjournment. We have a motion on the floor to adjourn.
You make a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, okay. Thank you all for coming. Thank you so very much. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. It's the best time of the year.